It's the 21st of September. What a time to be alive. We are so excited to be alive and healthy. So much so that we are back on your screens. It's a lovely Saturday. I mean, how lovely is your Saturday going? I mean, mine has started on a fantastic note because I get to come sit here, get to come interact with you and have a good time with you on the Trotro, your favorite Trotro Diary show, live on Joy Prime Television. And so you're welcome if you've joined us. If you know somebody who hasn't tuned in yet, well, tell that person to tune in because today's show will definitely be helpful, you know, to you. You never know. You know how we do it on the Trotro Diary show. How has your week been, by the way? Has it been good? I mean, mine has been awesome, and I'm hoping yours has been too. Well, let's also say a very big happy birthday to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Today is his birthday. We're celebrating him today. Shortly, I'll be telling you some of the amazing things that Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah did for our beloved country. You know, in terms of on our transport system, he did a lot. I mean, for the railway department, I mean, there's a lot. One of the roads that he constructed, he did it so well, so much so that it took 50 years, you know, for it to start deteriorating or whatever. And so that's one of the things that we remind ourselves of some of the amazing things that he did for the country. My name is Noella Karanyari. The show is proudly brought to you by Hisense. Let's say a big thank you to Hisense for coming on board. We are so grateful, Hisense. Well, we know with Hisense, the prices are very, very cheap for really, really quality products. I mean, they do not compromise on quality. So if you're looking for any kind of appliance, talk of, you know, kitchen appliances, living room appliances, bedroom, whatever it is, even phones, okay? You can just head over to any Hisense branch. They've got branches scattered across the country. And so you can just walk into any of their showrooms, you know, take a look at some of the things they have and do yourself a favor and cop yourself a Hisense appliance. You would not regret it, trust me. My name is Noella Karanyali. Today on the show, we are discussing something really, really important. But right after this breather, I'll be telling you all about it. Stay with us. You're welcome back. This is Trotro Diaries live on Joy Prime Television, proudly sponsored by Hisense. We're so thankful to Hisense. You should be thankful to Hisense as well. And like I said earlier, I mean, if you just joined in, we're celebrating Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. It's his birthday today. And I mean, he did so many monumental things for a country, so much so that we cannot, you know, forget him or forget a day like this, which is his birthday. For someone who helped us get independence, 1957, in case you're a foreigner watching and you probably don't know about Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, well, today is a very good day for you to do your research. He is a phenomenal individual who has helped us greatly, you know, independence, road networks, some of the road things he did. I mean, for the harbor development, he constructed a new harbor at Tema and upgraded the existing port at Takoradi, significantly, you know, improving Ghana's maritime trade capacity. Also, road network expansion. He built modern trunk roads along the coast and within the interior, connecting major towns and cities. One of the roads is the, you know, the Tema motorway. Awesome, awesome, awesome road. Also, the water transportation. He also promoted water transportation by establishing a ferry service and improving inland waterway, providing alternative transportation options for people and goods. And so from all of us here, myself and team, we're celebrating Dr. Kwame Nkrumah for his phenomenal works for our country. That being said, on the show today, we are looking at our drivers, our dear drivers. You know that this show is centered around transport, our drivers, and all of that. And so we've got about 3 months or even less to the election. Well, 3 months actually, to the election on December 7th. Ghanaians will be going to the polls to vote to give the next individual or flag bearer the mantle, the nod, to steer the affairs of our country. And of course, it's imperative that we look at these individuals or flag bearers, we assess them from all angles based on the kind of promises they make to us. But for our show, we want to specifically look at the transport system. We want to ask the right questions for our drivers. What are they really going to look at? What are they considering? What are they looking? Are they looking at their pockets? Are they looking at how they're able to get new cars? Are they looking at how they're able to get new spare parts, affordable spare parts? Are they looking at fuel prices? What are they looking at? And what is really inspiring their decision going into the election to vote? We want to ask all these important questions. Not us. They're not. I mean, I'm not going to ask myself. I'm going to ask drivers. And of course, I've got my Better Health, Yao Odum, going all the way to Circle to touch base with the Trotro drivers. We'll also be joined on Zoom by a number of drivers spanning from, heavy truck drivers, private car drivers, tricycle drivers, because we want to gauge what individually they will be looking at or considering to vote, whether or not they even want to vote. We want to find out what has been their experience in the last 8 years. We want to find out all of these important questions. But for now, I've got the communications person for the PRO, I should say, for the GPRTU. He will be joining me via Zoom. I'm sure, actually, he's actually joined us via phone call, actually. And so I don't know if you can hear me, but sir, Mr. Samuel Amoah, who is the PRO for GPRTU, if you can hear me, good morning,
I can
sir.
hear you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you, sir? How are you, madam?
I'm awesome. Thanks for asking. So we want to dive straight into our topic for discussion. We're looking at, 3 months into the election. First of all, you are the public relations officer for a group that really looks at the transport system here in Ghana. So I want to, right. So I want to find out from you, going into this election, what are some of the things that, let's start from you personally. What are some of the things that you are looking for?
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me say good morning to your listeners and viewers. What is happening is, I'm a transporter. I'm a transport operator, and that is what I do for a living. So when you talk about transport operating, then we also consider roads. Apart from the roads, we consider fuel, we consider spare parts, we consider the dollar rate because of the cost of the vehicle. These are the things that we normally consider before we also think about how our businesses will go on or it will come down.
Right.
As I'm speaking now, if you ask of my view right now, you see, now the nature of our roads are very, very bad. And because of that, when you buy spare parts, it will not last for some few, months. It will get spoiled again. And the spare parts, too, are very, very costly.
Right.
Are you getting it?
Right.
And at the same time, too, talking about the fuel cost, too. The fuel cost, too, is another factor that we also look into it. So if you ask my view right now, I always go for a party that, has some idea or has some solution to these problems or these things that I'm talking about.
Right.
That is the party that I'll go for. We normally don't look at the political party colors, but we look at, what the party has for the nation in general and for transport sector, as well.
Right. And like I said earlier, it's been 8 years. It couldn't have been all good in 8 years. It also couldn't have been all bad in 8 years. So let's look at the highlights, okay? Let's first look at your high moments in the last 8 years.
Yes, let me start from the cost of fuel. You know, and before 2016, we all know how much the fuel price was. A liter was going for about 4 cedis, something. And then I think before 2016, we were buying a gallon of fuel for about 14 cedis, 15 cedis thereabout. But as I'm speaking now, that gallon, the cost of a gallon now is a cost of a liter. That shows you, or that tells you, how the price has run into. So looking at in the midst of 8 years, the fuel has gone too high. The fuel has gone too high, and that is one thing we normally, complain. Then looking at the dollar rate, if I say dollar rate, I'm mentioning dollar rate because of the cost of vehicles. Now vehicles are costing. A Sprinter bus now that formerly we do buy it maybe 30,000, 35,000 thereabout, up to 40,000. Now if you are not having about 250,000, 300,000, you can buy a Sprinter bus. Likewise, Toyota Hay. So all these things, comparing the last 8 years to this time, I think it has gone too high. It has gone too high.
But
that is why brothers will normally complain.
But Mr. Samuel, like I said, would get to the low moments, but specifically, let's look at the high moments so that we keep the conversation balanced. Right?
Okay.
I don't want us to do bash. Let's do the bad ones. Let's do the good ones. So let's start on a high note and look at the highlights. What has been some of the things that drivers and the people you represent, what are some of the things that they have enjoyed in the last 8 years?
Okay, if I may put it that way, I can say that now some of the major roads that we do complain has been constructed. Some it's only that the urban ones that we are facing much problems. For that one, we can boldly say that yes, they have done something about it, and now most of the drivers are enjoying. And also, let me talk about some of the stations, some of the terminals too. Has been fixed. It's only that we sometimes complain about the Achimota terminal, which they constructed, but now it's not being used now.
Right.
And apart from that, I can't boldly mention so much things that drivers are enjoying now, because all the things have gone high. All the things have gone high. Talking about renewal of our insurances and DVLA and all that. All those things have gone high.
Right. So again, now let's look at you've mentioned fuel prices going up. You've mentioned the dollar rates because you buy some of these spare parts with that, denomination. It rules basically. So apart from these two, we've also looked at, some of the poor roads, right? That, contributes to the deteriorating of your cars, right? But apart from these three, what else?
Okay, apart from these three, we also talk about the taxes, all right?
The taxes?
On
what exactly?
We also talk about the DVLA tax and the insurance. DVLA and insurance. You see, Formally, if your roadworthy expired and maybe your vehicle is parked for a long time, and when you go, you only go and renew it. But this time around, when you go, there is a penalty that you have to pay. And sometimes the penalties are more than even the renewal fee, as well as the driver's licenses that we also renew. That one the same way. If your license expired, let's take for instance, maybe a driver is not working. A driver is jobless. And because of that, he has not renewed his driver's license. Maybe by the grace of God, he has gotten a job that he say, okay, let me organize myself, go and renew my driver's license.
Right.
When he goes, the penalty will be too high. At the same time, let's talk about insurance too. Now the insurance, you can't buy insurance. I get it. That even the third party that we buy, you can't buy insurance. A Sprinter now, insurance is costing about 800 to 900 Ghana cedis for a premium, which is too high. The 15-seater buses, that is the urban buses and the Toyota Ace buses, they are also going for about 700 to 800 cedis a year. All these things are also some things that are affecting our businesses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If you just joined us, well, this is Churchill Diaries live on Joy Prime Television. What we're discussing is we've got about 3 months into the election, and so we want to gauge where our drivers are at. I mean, they contribute a lot to our economy, and so it's only right that we ask that going into the election, what are some of the things that they look out for? What do they consider? And what really inspires your vote to either vote for Party A, Party B, or Party C. And so that's the conversation we're having with Mr. Samuel Amoah, who is the PRO for the GPRTU. Mr. Samuel, I need you to hold your guns a bit. I'm going to come back to you. But we've been joined by 2 other Zoom members, or viewers, I should say. And so I'd like to touch base with them. Senior citizen, I understand you're live with us on Zoom. If you can hear me, hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, senior citizen. Oh, I remember your face. I remember your face. You're the tricycle driver, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right.
Awesome. So I'm sure you have been following the conversation we've been having with Mr. Samuel, who is the PRO of an association I don't know if you are supposed to be a part of, but yeah. First of all, what do you make of the things he said? Does any of the things he's saying resonates with you as a tricycle driver?
Yeah, I joined the conversation halfway, but I thought I gathered few information about spare parts and then rules and the rest.
Okay, but I mean, let's look at you now. Personally, going into the election, how many years have you been driving your tricycle?
Okay, I started just about a year now.
Oh, okay. And I mean, since you started, has it been lucrative? Has it been good? What government policy has been affecting you or has been aiding you have a successful, tricycle business?
Okay. Most of the times we work on experiences and what you yourself even gathered so far.
Okay.
I would say before I joined, the fares were moderate and fuel prices were not that much. So you get passengers, even short distances, people prefer to pick you than to walk.
Okay.
Yeah, but for now, you see 2 adults even carrying each other because the fare, they thought they could.
The fare prices have gone up.
Yes.
Okay. So for you, I mean, the only issue here is like the fuel prices, or are there other, things that affect you?
There are more.
Tell me.
The tricycle, as we talk, the parts, before you can get some very important parts, you will have to drain your whole savings to fix just a small problem.
Okay.
The parts are very, very expensive. Yeah. And then most of the times, people prefer you carry them to their doorsteps, since our part, it's a lighter vehicle, and then it can pass through narrow roads. Yeah. And then you'll see that most of these roads are a total mess. You go and come back, and then you will find part of your
like you'd have a puncture.
Tricycle. Yeah, you have a puncture somewhere.
Mm.
So most of the times, it's either you ignore those locations or yeah, and then it's affecting the work because if you're not able to send people to where they want, then they might also not be able to. You might also not as well get the money you want. Yeah.
I see. So you've mentioned spare parts, you've mentioned fuel prices. So far, that's just two. What else?
Yes, and insurances,
Okay.
both for the riders and then the vehicle.
Okay. Okay. Senior
Yeah.
citizen, hold your guns a bit for me. Let me go back to the PRO, Mr. Samuel. Mr. Samuel, are you there?
I'm here.
Awesome. So, I mean, you've heard from a tricycle driver. I mean, most of what he said also resonates with what you have mentioned.
That's correct.
The challenges of your your members.
Yes.
Let me now ask, is there anything you guys do to sensitize your members? I mean, going into the election, is there any sort of education you give them? Anything you guys do at all to sort of prepare them adequately into the election?
Yes. You see, each and everyone has his own, political parties that they join. And, the only thing we normally tell them is we shouldn't take it like, somebody who say the party is my bona fide property. Whether the party is doing the right thing or is doing the wrong thing, hey, let me just follow for the sake of party.
Right.
What we normally tell them is, you see, somebody can just, because of election, somebody can just walk to the station, find some small money for the drivers. Hey, vote for me.
Yeah.
And because of that small money, they will choose to sell their vote. Meanwhile, they know very well that, that person has nothing good for the driving sector. What we normally look at is if the person can help your business to grow.
Okay.
Right? If your person has something that can help you grow your business so that you can gain from your business, better than, what a person can give you instantly, that at the end of the day, your business will collapse. Then you come to the same, same stage again.
But
so one of the advices we do give them is they shouldn't, look at, party callers, but they should compare. All right, which of the parties they think if they come, they do things that will favor the drivers a bit.
Right.
Because we've known what is past and we know now. All right, we cannot come out to say vote for party A or vote for party B. But let's look at those that have things that can help the transport sector. So they vote for them because, we are going to, give the powers to them for a whole 4 years. This whole 4 years, let's look at, or let's think about where we were and where we are now. You understand? So if you make a mistake and maybe follow political parties or maybe something that somebody can give you just for a day and you sell your powers for the person for a whole 4 years and to collapse your business, then it's up to you. So these are some of the things that we normally, talk to them, educate them or sensitize them.
Right. But I mean, someone would say, as of now, all the flag bearers or individuals who have shown interest in, wanting to become presidents of our country, obviously for now, what you're all doing is communicating. What you're doing is talk. So how are you able to really tell from somebody just talking that, this person will probably give us a good option than this person? How do you really critically assess, these flag bearers or individuals?
Okay, let me say for one party first. One party was talking about, a 24-hour economy.
Yeah.
Of which we knew very well that, when businesses, are going on in 24 hours, I think it will help the driving sector in a way. The reason why I'm saying that is sometimes you may be driving in the night and you have a problem with your car. It will be very difficult for you to find a mechanic. Or even when you want to buy a spare part, it will be very difficult for you to get spare parts. So in case, all these businesses are running 24 hours, it will also help. At the same time, when factories and companies are working, there will be more employment, and passengers will also, come to our stations all the time to come and board vehicles, because we find out that at some certain hours, passengers don't come to stations to, board vehicles. So this thing we've come to understand that, this thing can help. We also heard one thing also from another part talking about digitizing the transport sector. They brought something that what call it, tap and go system. This tap and go system is cashless system that they are bringing into the transport sector. We also found out that it's something that can help, because sometimes it's not every passenger that comes on board.
So if I get what you mean, you are in for the digitization, right? You are in for. I mean, not too long ago we saw pictures of how some people would jump traffic, and they would be sent a message that this is what you owe and all of that. Are you for things like that?
Oh yes, you see, policies that we think it helps. We are not. That is why I say we are not looking at the party itself, but we are looking at the policies. You see, NDC or former President Mama came out with 24-hour economy. We supported it. Then at the same time, even His Excellency Dr. Bawumia also came out with digitalizing the transport sector. The transport sector. They also came up with this. Bringing taxis online. Okay, these things also we find out that it's something that can also help. So we are looking at it. Then before we also consider about this issue of our roads and fuel and all that. So if we come up with all these things and we compare who did this and who did that, then we also know where we push our vote to.
Sure. Mr. Samuel Amoah, you've been phenomenal this morning. Thank you so much for speaking to us on some of the things that, as a spokesperson for your union, you would be looking, for as we head into the election. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Let me now cross over to Circle, where my colleague Yao Odum is standing by to share with us. Well, he's touching base with the Trotro drivers and passengers as well. We also want to gauge your thoughts on what you're looking at, in the last 8 years, what has been the experience as a passenger, as a driver, and going forward, what are they really going to look at to vote? Or will they even vote at all? I don't even know. Do you know? We don't know. So let's touch base with Yao Odum now. Yao, if you can hear me, take it away.
Okay, thank you so much, Noella. So as you know, today we are at Circle, Trotro Diaries TV show, proudly brought to you by Hisense, home of appliances. If you want anything from your fridges to your ACs, everything, Hisense is the place to go to. So we're having a conversation today about what drivers will be considering with the elections that's coming up. So every 8 years, Ghana goes to the polls. We are at Circle today, which is one of the biggest spaces if you want to talk about Trotro, to talk to the drivers about what they will be considering in order to make a decision on who they are going to vote for. Okay, into Pacho Bodi no waka the Aoye Waha, so we drive here now you meet and a baby I'll drive a car.
Pacho a friend Abbas Amidu. Me driver Zongo Shukura. Apia Dankwa Soko. Ona Miron.
Okay. Into Masa Abbas. Oh, okay. Into Pacho introduce you, I know I share camera mu Amaya Kakra.
Yo, me Pacho a friend Kwame. Me a driver at Zongo station. Me drive from Circle to Zongo Shukura, Russia. Okay.
Inti Mbachona so Wabodi na baby alcohol.
But your friend is me drive from Circle to Dakuma official town.
Inti Masa Musa, Circle to Dakuman official town. Okay.
Inti your friend Kwadwo Fosu, me drive ko Dakuma bus circle. Okay.
Masa Kojo. Okay, and depending for to me, tree bro for all the Frafraka Council Beboa. Conversation is elections are coming up in December. And what we are asking is, as a driver, no, and then and I will consider an issues being and I'll be say either party be or bebano or be address yamawa a be influence emawato amasa party. Into Masa Abbas, you better say so.
Issue no there, the enya pass first thing your rules no. your roads no bad ti affect your most any your traffic lights so be brain nya adwuma eno so hard your free wa aban be ba obetumi ahwe about your pass no spare pass say na omu kra niama ba duty aboa din ama yeso niama no aboa niama no boa din ayentimi nto no aban betumi aba obetumi ahwe sa niama no aka ye be buoto ama no pa because na say ye niama no boa din pa ukọ abeso nka ontimi nto niama ties o oil fuel de ben bibia boa din nti ama ye pa aban betumi aba be boa ye ni sa niama no aka ye no so ye be follow sa aban ne pa.
Okay, nti aban obehwe sa nneoma no eno na wo behwe so na wo de beto abase de obesi ato. Okay.
Me ye no. Ejuma me ye no because sa nia ejuma me ye no na me focus on it. Cause anya yi a me su bibia ntimi nkoso ye mami.
Okay, nti nneoma ya obobo so no how does it affect wo business and wo ejuma o ye?
Affect me bebre a lot. Say bad roads no say say nyama bebre me boost spring at me two ball joint sana spare parts no so kotoso a enya easy
ntina e affect business
affect me pa ankasa
yo masa ende yemra won so eden na issues be na obehwe a e be influence say obesi ato aba
yo yeri kan yedem ase joy prime say muni yeshia na wohwe problems a ye kan nyina na ade a masa ne ma we nyina akoso kese exchange rate no eno na masa ne ma nyina sa problem we nyina ba wohwe ye spare parts ya ye kan wasem na asefo ne ne nyina ye due to say yentumi control ye exchange rate no because exchange rate no wo fomu a e ma fuel ne bo no den e ba fomu e san so a sabita freche ya driver for ye tofo ye nom e passengers nti ne ye tofo ne ye to a na say ye high a ye di charge passengers no e san so e ma enuama aka no so ye den e kosoro nuano a mo so beton ne na asefo na ade no eno so e kosoro nti e ma transportation no e two exorbitants ankofo ntumi mfuru kan because we buy wo hwe ahaya no say ntumi enkoma the rate of turnover na e low nti aban a obetumi aba hwe ye exchange rate no e ma na ye stable na say tumi abofom amaye e ma ye spare parts no so abofom e ma for abofom no say de ye nua panyin se kan no I think say no ni aban a betumi abo no say o mara meboy.
Okay, so far, if you're watching the Church Rise TV show, the issues that have been raised so far by the drivers, they've talked about roads, they've talked about spare parts, they've talked about the traffic lights, and he has also just mentioned the exchange rate, that influences the fuel prices, among other things, and that would definitely impact the transport fares. Okay, Inti Wafa, what's watching chair saying?
No one idea Kufuma, ever boys that was a professional worker. No, you need maybe all baby a professional worker driving. The I say, no man walk Cosra, be a tie, is a tie boarding. O Pata is a Bacusia, or catch a cow of crying willful. He said, no more both conform, the block of spare parts now, the road to see ya. Say, road to ya, 100% of time apart. This is a block of four baby that they be war, or double weapon control we are. Your time as the road to traffic light. Now the police from class of wire. Or you do a traffic light and yetuma. As a police regional our channel control no or regional control. Oh, same say traffic is baby. Also do I say also Fridays almost a connection quanum. Ye and so much traffic about come. So doing like a police for checkpoints. Joint to joint you are as some control traffic lights no control. What a jam. The problem they drive for the problem baby. So your bomb pies are back of a bar. Or boy they drive for the no that they will come from my boy drive for them. And then she will follow.
Okay. Into Wafa. Also watching chair.
Oh yeah, the better mass. Near share Monsumwa, Musumo boy. Aja Odia Fato Kayasi. Or Fidi Fato Kayasi Remain. Kaya Jumo Krumu. Circle, Accra, circle, in the Kaya Juma, Fato cars, Nasi. Kasia not here. And so you had more crew, and you had more crassy. Inti, ya quine and your man, dear. In ya pa. If you see Juma, Yami and Sakoya, no one. Near fool, 7 years, the Aden and Sosono. And the Yana yɛka ho asɛm sɛ kɔ soro ɛnso media nka me kwa de nka no ha me fi sɛ no wokɔ baabi te sɛ Nigeria yɛtu fuel wɔ hɔ ɛnso ne hwɛ la ya ɔmde to fuel nti ɛno deɛ yɛ de la wobɛtɔ ɛno anso na wode yɛ adwuma nti na no de aban a obeba ya obetimi aboa ye no wasiesie ana de ba ko nto ha men se hwe adwuma ya ye na do ba ye wo se lances no first no na nka ye 4 passengers eye bi no sesei obe peja mu ko so na ye 1 to 19 passengers enso police ni hia wo na okuta lances bi a otimi busa se we ye mfa ntwi trotro nze sei no aban na da ye se no lances no wa peja mu ko so ana DVL fuo na omuso omunye omadwuma yi ana se no police fuo na ebo yapu
nti eno sa no na as an issue no then and obepese aban obeba no ebeye I be influenced by obekase oh because nipa na na adwen so obey say ni say nti no then exactly nti empanifo we there ekoma mu nyina ye raise issues no nti ye say I pese ahwe say then porte na opese ahwe so omunye say ni say ana aban bi ka say obey policy ana bibi say ni say a eno ene be influence ema me ma support you
papa ba aban ne de emra ne de wo de ba emra no wo de aba but say no kwa no wo hwe police TV a police encheche a omu chechere no enso so unia police ni bi gina kwa ho wono woni mra no enso bia ne license asemu America yi wahu we na 1 to 15 passengers you ene ye kita wa ha enso so ukuta license bia yese no de ntwi trotro ntamla ne de aba ne de aba enso so e form ha ne de ye mfa nya adwuma so ati ase nte no aso obehwe na se ebia ade no wo de aba no wa ma obi ahu se na ete na ma ye nso se ho atoye
nti that means say so mo your education was so na omo science so hwe say wo de mra ne by say o make sure say on the grounds no eye adwuma okay wo fara wo pese obika bibi
now for how back on say yes obi di 18 years o tumi to aba but obi di 18 years o tumi twi commercial car is a yen pa ina na betumi akọ school edu echire akọ adwuma kese was obi wa ni fie obi wa ni fie ni bi obi we SS kra obi di mate no hu driving yes o nya 25 years about nka commercial car so esi 18 years or to aba alentia 18 years or to aba na on to 18 years on to twi commercial car but police ya obi nya 20 years na adwum wo ho obi nya 20 years obi nya be 23 years or wadwu kwase obi a wonya be 30 years and 40 years oh or drive no both the police na chi no I'm sure lances or sure lances nya 25 years yes what tomra identity nya 25 years or ka commercial car so bia na ifie nye commercial car no twi no get long journey bia zongo to Kaneshi and I say circuit to Kaneshi and I circuit to Accra and I say circuit to Dakuma what I say on long journey I say one year experience but total there I had higher and I say yes station you want church and benefit the church here drivers for no and that's all my coin so big 18 years to 25 years no or to commercial car was no be any fear there I will be I'll bet to I say be train me 25 years my boy it so I never go I say about boy so train there oh boy no last is so me na kan wa say no yes be a typical 15 passengers but police show is here I say to me nka aban account but police no fan yejuma
but then normal can reason be normal ma say into me nka police force
police show say be no into nka 15 passengers na say na say mpeni for normal kasa sa na fe de o ma ba form kaka first no mo nru drivers what I say o mo the police force so me there was you na police TV emra no mo kan pa but Uber Fred no so emra na ejuma you show TV no so Uber Fred no so emra na ejuma
okay and what we are going to do very shortly we'll go for a commercial break but for quickly you better take more than na yako commercial break aba
so the minion music no ohwe yes we are na papa pointing yes last week last year And I'm body waste you. But because of the bad road, just said it's a panza. And the police initial now small can say, the car is lacking maintenance. Meanwhile, you are the cause of the whole problem. Say you're crying here, I done a car and body waste within 1 year, cancel the Then another school of thought, your documents, and only a young police also check your licenses, insurance, roadways, and then maybe city driving licenses and others. Oceana and Union, I catch you and say lack of maintenance. Lack of maintenance is a quite announced. Why would you so kind? What can you see there? For the past 8 years, say no monsieur muchu until your country level could do. It is a lack of maintenance in there. Yes, I almost say, I baby abano. So you must not quite yet there, and when you the well lack of maintenance near them. If you are because a quite a man, the lack of maintenance. Two, traffic be our saying. Just secretary at the whole for the past 7 years in and when I saw my pedestrians near the cross. So traffic light in Buyano, Yachi driver now or boost our traffic light in Edna court. A prosecuting I be all right, but traffic light in the obese in the young tree. Three, for the past 7 years now. Three, Chequania and Nams away. Baby are pedestrians as a homofano, only the one in our market. Now we move where the pedestrians are walking along the road. Baba young few. So, ATS city guard for us, the other pavement is there for the pedestrians to walk on it. It is on no way pavement in one of car. Then we drive on wire and pay problem. It is a bay or beba. It me a chasse and run by a jumo man. Somebody in here.
Okay. Very interesting one there. We'll take the final one just before we go for a commercial break from Hisense.
Aban beba. Aban amu basi se amu pre amu ba no. Ye pedo di be asema ye kan ye beti e wo ni policy mu. Ye beto ama no. And then ya pa. Because amu nyina amu ko no manti asema ye kan nyina ni nyina anti bia e wo amu policy. Nti do obetie ya asem we a odi be ba I will ban the policy, Munu.
Okay, so if you've been watching the Church of the East TV show, to the political parties, the governments out there, these are the concerns from drivers on the roads. Most importantly, they said they don't just want to hear you say or give all these political promises. They want to see it in policy documents, in your manifestos. Now, the issues that they have touched on range from the roads, the condition of the roads, the traffic lights, interactions with the police. There are laws that have been passed, but on the ground, these things are not working. And then I think there was issues that were raised on the exchange rate, which is affecting the spare parts, making it very expensive for them to operate their businesses. Other issues that have been raised are related to license and DVLA related issues. But these are the concerns of drivers. They are going to be looking out for this. So if you're a political party out there looking to win the trotro drivers across Circle and the country, these are issues that you should be concerning yourself with. This has been Yao Odum from Trotro News. Trotro TV show at Circle. Over to you in the studio.
You're welcome back. You're still live on Joy Prime Television. This is Trotro Diaries, proudly sponsored by Hisense. And of course, we actually just got back from Circle as well, where my colleague Yao Odum had an insightful conversation. Listen, I am so impressed. I am literally so impressed with how woke our drivers are or have become, that they tend to now look at things critically, you know, they don't want to do the party color vote anymore. They want to look at what the issues are on the grounds. Because, I mean, beyond voting per your party color, when you come back on the grounds, it's just you and your God. And, you know, the policies in place that really are for you or against you. And so it gives me so much happiness that we have drivers who are very, very woke and are looking at things critically now that we have just 3 months to go into the election. I've got people, drivers actually on Zoom. I'm so sorry that we took this long to come to you, but we also had to touch on other important matters as well. But let me now shift my focus to them. And so I'm not sure who I'm talking to. Paul, okay. Paul, hi. Paul, I love your get-up. I love what you're wearing, your shirt.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much, Paul, for holding on and not, you know, logging off.
Wow.
So Paul, Paul, you're a driver, right?
Yes.
What kind of car do you drive?
Private.
Okay, great. I mean, I'm sure you've monitored the conversation from my conversation with the PRO of GPRTU to, you know, some of the drivers, trotro drivers at the Circle Station. What has really resonated with you, even though you do not ply a trade as they do, but what really about what they said resonated with you as a driver?
Okay, so with regards to having the laws working, as in one of the drivers mentioned that the license indicates that you can pick maybe, let's say, 1 to 19 passengers or 15. But physically on the road, when they get the police is saying that there's a license B and it cannot cater for such.
Okay.
So they were being harassed.
Okay.
So I think it's one of the things that we need to look out for going forward.
Okay.
It's a strong thing that we need to check.
Okay.
Something also with regards to having motor riders in the lane. I mean, there's a conversation on our Trotro Diaries page saying that motor riders are supposed to be outside the lane, but they are supposed to be in the lane just as a car is. So most of the time they are the shoulders of the road.
Right.
I don't think maybe we the drivers, some of the motor riders, they themselves, they know that, okay, you are supposed to stay in the lane. You're not supposed to be in the middle or in the shoulders of the road.
Right.
So some of these things, like he mentioned, it's shown on the police TV and all that. But on the road, it's a different ballgame altogether. It's as if they don't want to uphold the law.
Right.
So we need to check these things. Yeah.
Right. So Paul, I'll come back to you so you briefly touch on some of the things that you'd be looking out for. But let me go to Mr. Francis Ampofo, who is a heavy truck driver. And for him, I am specifically interested in the things you'll be looking at, because oftentimes when we're talking about transport, we hardly look at them because we are so fixated on, you know, taxi, trotro, and all of that. But they matter. They are the ones responsible for transporting a lot of stuff. So let me come to you, Mr. Francis. I don't know, is it okay to speak in English or Chi? What are you comfortable with?
Oh, I may blend.
Awesome. I love that. So, Mr. Francis, tell me, I mean, does anything we have talked about, some of your colleagues have talked about, does anything about what they've talked about strike you? Do they resonate with you? Even though you do not, I mean, what you drive is you know, very different, distinctively different from what they drive.
Okay, thank you very much. You know, I'm very happy this morning concerning the concerns that the drivers made at the Circle Station.
Right.
You see, everything that they said is absolutely true. We need some change in the driving system. You see, when the government, most of them, the officials, they do propose a lot of things to the country and the community, but they reject the drivers. They don't mind us, especially the truck drivers. It's like our lives are in our own hands. Okay, so me as a truck driver, we've been facing many challenges that there is no one to speak for us. It's more or less like the trotro and the and the small cars, even the small cars, no, the trotro, and the buses.
Yeah.
But you see, when you fly the road, you see that the truck drivers, we have been going through a lot.
What are some of the touch on at least 3 for me? Some of the 3 key things that have been bothering you guys.
One is that when you are driving a truck, you have to be very.
Hello, Mr. Ampofo.
Careful on the road.
Mr. Ampofo.
3 seconds through.
Mr. Ampofo, please repeat what you just said. I lost you for a bit, so repeat it.
Yes, I was saying that when you are driving on the road, we mostly use most of the driving rules like tailgating and let's say 3 seconds rule. These rules are very important on our major roads that most of the drivers they are not aware. And even some of them, if they are aware, they don't want to use it. They don't want to apply it on the road. You see, you'll be driving a truck, you will leave a small space at the front of you, just to the car that is closer to you. Before you see, a small car or a taxi driver will enter.
Yeah.
That we always leave is for our own purpose. So we know why we are leaving those spaces.
Yeah.
Because the trucks, our brake system, they are not like the small cars.
Okay.
So anything can happen at any time. They are all air. And the air, the moment you step on the brake with force, it can burst.
Right.
Now, when the hose blasts, your brake is not won't work again. Your brake won't work again. Secondly, the tailgating, I don't know.
You know what, Mr. Ampofo? You know what? Yeah. It breaks my heart that I had to come to you at a point where we need to actually end the show. But I'm going to talk to my producer. I'm going to convince him with all my heart. So we dedicate next week majorly to truck drivers, because you're right. I mean, oftentimes when we talk about transport systems here in Ghana, we hardly look at the truck drivers. In fact, oftentimes when we look at you as bullies, because we feel like you've been bullying us on the road. And so I think it's imperative that we actually give you the voice to share, what really are your concerns, what probably we as private drivers, truck drivers or whatever, what we do wrong that affects you, so we can, work together collectively on our roads, and then look at what we also look out for before we get into the elections next 3 months. And so I'd love for you to please forgive me. In fact, Engineer Paul Owusu, and Senior Citizen as well. 3 of you would have to forgive me. Sure. But next week, I'm expecting all 3 of you to come again, so we'll have a beautiful show. Is that okay?
Yeah, we'll come back.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome stuff. And so that's how we're going to wrap up on the show today. Unfortunately, we had to cut into the show. You'd have to forgive me. But next week, we're definitely going to revisit this topic once again, specifically shining the spotlight on truck drivers, because, with what Mr. Fosu Ampofo was saying, there are a lot of things we haven't explored in that area. And so we're going to explore that next week. And so join us next week. But before you do, remember to get all your appliances and digital stuff, whatever it is, from Hisense. Listen, when we talk about Hisense, they are like synonymous to very, very affordable quality products. And so I'd love for you to get, in fact, the 3 of you, Paul, Francis, and Senior Citizen. In fact, next week, you have to show me proof that you went to buy something from Hisense. You have to show me. You have to show me that. And I'm imploring all of you to also get your appliances from Hisense as well. Thank you so much, Hisense, for partnering with us with Trotro Diaries. We so appreciate you. My name is Noella Karanyali. I did this with my better half, who's all the way in Circle, actually, Yao Odium. But of course, next week, we're back again, same time, 11 o'clock to 12 p.m. Be our guest. Thank you.